It's 10 a.m. on WKYT Midmorning, the latest on an overnight fire that caused a lot of damage to several businesses in downtown Moorhead.
Find out what's next for a Kentucky attorney accused in a multi-million-dollar corruption case.
And a look at the mess caused by some wicked weather that dropped damaging hail across parts of the South.
This is WKYT Midmorning.
Good morning to you and welcome in on your Tuesday. We're glad you're with us. Turning into a nice day out there. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Barbara Bailey. You're right. Looks like a day that will be easy to enjoy.
Yeah. And it sounds like as we go through this week, it gets better and better. And meteorologist Micah Harris is here. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, this is your coolest day in the forecast. And honestly, it doesn't feel all that bad. Even right now, we have several hours of heating to go. Once we approach the afternoon, we'll actually be in the mid to upper 50s. We're in the mid 40s right now. Sunny skies help out big time. When you have the clouds overhead and any type of a breeze at these type of temperatures that you're seeing here on the screen, it makes it feel a little chilly outside. But when you have the sunshine right on you at 56, it's not that bad. And you know what? We'll get toward average tomorrow, and then it really skyrockets with those temperatures. It's all about the temperatures. They're going way up. I'll talk all about that coming up.
Okay, see you in just a minute. Thank you, Micah. This morning, investigators in Rowan County are getting a better look at the damage to 3 businesses caused by a large overnight fire.
That fire started just before 2 o'clock at a cell phone and tobacco store on West Main Street in Moorhead. The flames spread to a nearby tanning business, and a heating and air system store was also damaged. No one was hurt, but employees who showed up to the scene were emotional as they watched their places of work go up in flames. Investigators say there are a few reasons why the fire spread so quickly.
Yeah, we had 3 buildings. They had small separations and a firewall in between them. No fire protection systems, fire alarms, or sprinkler systems in any of the buildings.
As firefighters continue to look at the damage inside the businesses, they hope to figure out what started the large fire.
New on WKYT at mid-morning, a man was killed in an overnight crash in Madison County. It happened about 2 o'clock this morning on Battlefield Memorial Highway near Kingston Elementary School. The coroner says 33-year-old Stephen Cheney lost control of his car and slammed into a tree. According to the coroner, speed and wet roads are thought to have been factors in the deadly crash. A bill that makes certain types of cancer a line-of-duty death for Kentucky firefighters is being formally received today in Frankfort. Secretary of State Allison Lundergan Grimes is filing Senate Bill 195 at this hour. The General Assembly passed the bill unanimously. It became law without the governor's signature last week. Grimes is joined by several firefighters at today's ceremony, including Matt Logsden, a 10-year veteran of the Lexington Fire Department. He was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer earlier this year, and he will officially retire from the department tomorrow.
Eric Kahn, the Kentucky lawyer accused of conspiring to defraud the government of $600 million in questionable federal disability payments, could be released from jail pending trial. A federal judge has called a hearing for this afternoon when he'll lay out the conditions for Kahn's release. Now, according to a court document, Kahn would have to use his $1.5 million home in Pikeville to secure bond. Prosecutors have argued they believe Kahn is a flight risk. This morning, people in parts of the South are cleaning up after some really wicked weather.
It's amazing, really. Hail the size of baseballs in some cases, damaged homes and cars in Texas, and there's problems throughout the South. Don Champion shows us some of the incredible video.
The violent storms created frightening sounds and devastating sights in North Texas. In a matter of minutes, hail the size of baseballs and bigger broke countless windows, exposed homes, and even pierced a hole in Jim Burton's roof.
It's just incredible, you know. I've never been through anything like this before.
Here, hailstones pummeled a pool. Car windows didn't fare any better. There's so much damage in the city of Wiley outside of Dallas. The local school district canceled classes today.
Looking at the damage, just kind of going, where do I begin? You know, so shrug. That's more glass falling.
The severe weather hit as a line of storms marched across the South. In Arkansas, powerful winds knocked trees over onto homes, including Michelle Hensley.
When I heard the boom, I ducked, and then I looked up, and there was a tree in my house.
Elsewhere in the state, lightning even sparked a fire that destroyed this church. The severe weather threat is lower across the region today. Don Champion, CBS News.
It's amazing to see all that, you know?
I know, just incredible to think of that coming down.
It's the time of the year, though, for severe weather. Everybody keep that in mind. Well, two of Kentucky's top elected officials will have to be battling it out in the courtroom soon.
Attorney General Andy Beshear made good on his promise to sue Governor Matt Bevin. A hearing on the lawsuit has been scheduled for Thursday. Governor Bevin used executive action to cut 4.5% in state funding from higher education. But Beshear says Bevin took money from a budget that had already been signed into law, which is illegal unless there's a projected shortfall, which there is not.
This is not political. It's not Democrats versus Republicans. It's not about upcoming or future elections. It's not Bevin versus Beshear. It's not even about pensions versus higher education. It's about the law, and my duty as Attorney General to enforce it.
Governor Bevin says he's prepared to respond to Beshear's lawsuit as necessary in court. His office also released a statement saying in part, quote, given the amount of alleged corruption and personnel problems in the Office of Attorney General and his father's administration, it's clear that he's attempting to deflect attention away from his own challenges.
Meanwhile, the battle over the state budget continues to play out in Frankfort. Lawmakers have agreed to extend the deadline for approving a two-year operating budget of $21 billion, $65 billion when you include federal money. Budget talks broke down Sunday night, and lawmakers were initially scheduled to hold their very last day of the session today. Now, House and Senate leaders have agreed to move the legislature's final day as late as it can go to Friday, April 15th. That is the final day allowed for a legislative session under the state constitution.
A woman convicted in a robbery at a Danville Domino's where a clerk was shot is expected to be sentenced today. Robin Adams pleaded guilty to 2 facilitation charges for her role in the 2014 case. Police say she drove 3 people to the Domino's on South 4th Street where they robbed and shot the clerk, Zoe Reed. She survived following several surgeries. As part of her plea deal, Adams will testify against the 3 others charged.
We've learned that a southern Kentucky woman was one of 2 people found dead in a hot tub in Tennessee over the weekend. Investigators identify the victims as 62-year-old Myra Smith Findle of Corbin and 63-year-old John Levin of Oak Ridge, Tennessee. They say the 2 were found dead in a hot tub at a rental cabin in Gatlinburg. Investigators are still trying to figure out what caused their deaths, but they do not suspect foul play.
Lexington Animal Care and Control says pets were rescued from a filthy home. Neighbors called to complain about the home on Hedgewood Court off Woodhill Drive. Animal Control says at least 5 cats and a dog were abandoned at the home, and they say the home was covered in animal waste. The pets did not have drinkable water. If found, the owner of the animals will likely face animal abuse charges. Well, check your change. A new quarter featuring Cumberland Gap National Historical Park is now in circulation.
You might have one of those coins. It's the latest quarter released in the U.S. Mint's ongoing America the Beautiful Quarters program. Daniel Boone and other explorers crossed through the Cumberland Gap to reach Kentucky and points west way back in the 1700s. Park leaders hope the quarter sparks nationwide interest in Cumberland Gap. We all have connections there just about in Kentucky, you know.
Many people in this state. You're absolutely right about that. Well, coming up, it's a fishtail that's backed up by video evidence.
Now look at one man's close encounter coming up after weather.
And then we're looking outside. It's beautiful around here, and it feels okay. It's still a little bit cool for today. Next few days, we bump up those temperatures big time. I'll show you 70s and quite possibly an 80-degree reading in our forecast coming up.
Now, your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
We still have a few clouds down toward the southeast, but those are filtering on out. It is a gorgeous day outside. You have bright blue skies for most locations. Here's Covington, Jackson. Look how nice Jackson looks. London, Corbin area. Go off into Lexington, Mount Vernon. Work your way back toward Lebanon. I mean, anywhere you go, it's beautiful outside. Maysville looking pretty good at this moment, too. So the rest of the afternoon will be in the mid-50s. Heading out to Keeneland for tomorrow, it gets a little bit better. We'll be near average, right around 61 degrees and sunny skies. Really nice day tomorrow, and then it gets even better on Thursday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I mean, you pick a day, take off and enjoy. I mean, it gets a little bit better temperature-wise, but in terms of the way it looks, it'll be really nice the next several days. Friday at 72 degrees. Really, really awesome day. And that not only goes for Friday, but into your weekend. Watch what happens for your weekend. Big dome of higher pressure off to our east. That's good news for us. The reason being, if it's just to our east, it keeps a lot of those clouds pretty clear. And what happens is you get the flow around that. It's a clockwise flow, meaning look at your clock, see which way it goes, and that's the way that the winds go around that, which means which ways are the winds coming in? Yeah, from the south and southeast. It's going to pump in that warmer air, and we'll feel that warmer air as we track off towards your weekend. Highs will be there in the 70s, not just the 70s, but even a couple of particular models are reading roughly 80 degrees on Sunday. I'm not jumping on board with that just yet. We're still some days away, but I do have it at 76 degrees, which that's going to be really nice either way. So then we're talking about not only the 70s, but what about sunny skies? Yeah, we'll have sunshine across the region too. There's nothing going on. So this is not only perfect for Keeneland, but perfect for any events you have going on. The big ball game, football game, spring game going on in Commonwealth there at noontime on Saturday. And at noontime, you will be roughly 70 degrees on Saturday. You're talking about big events, any events going on, 5Ks during the morning. Everything looks good to go there as you slide off towards your weekend, Friday into your weekend. The only chance of rain we have in your 7-day forecast is on Thursday. It's mainly for south of I-64 in the southern half, and that's a very small chance. You're talking about a stray shower. That's it. So most of us stay dry for at least the next 7 days. And guys, I was looking long range, 10 to 14 days out. I still don't see a change. I don't see a big shot of cold air anytime soon. We could have a cool shot toward midweek of next week, but for the most part, that's not a cold shot. It's just a cooler shot. So
I think we've earned this.
I think so too. It's been a while.
We like the trend.
Sure.
All right. Well, it's early in the Derby season now, you know, so here we go.
We'll be here soon.
Yep.
Well, a blue marlin nearly turned the tables on a fisherman off the coast of Australia.
A sporting fishing group posted video of the close encounter on the company's Facebook page. Watch as that marlin, look at that, nearly takes out a deckhand as it jumps toward the boat.
Whoa.
Man, nearly impaled there. Look at that. Golly.
Wow.
I think he took another jab at it, like, get out of here.
I'm glad they have that video to back it up, because when he comes and tells stories, people might not believe it without seeing the video.
Yeah, you know.
But there it is, the evidence.
You know fish stories, right? It's always
fish tales.
It's always that long, right? Yeah.
That's a real one, though. They can prove it. But James Franco explores a troubled past in the Adderall Diaries, and a new spy thriller ventures into science fiction.
Suzanne Marquez now with your eye on entertainment.
Kevin Costner drew a crowd at the New York premiere of Criminal. The actor stars as a death row inmate who receives a memory transfer from murdered CIA agent Ryan Reynolds. The mission shows him to be much more than a criminal.
You see the level of resourcefulness that he has in order to survive.
The thriller opens in theaters Friday. A fairy tale takes a dark turn in The Huntsman: Winter's War. The cast got a red carpet welcome at the U.S. premiere in Los Angeles. Chris Hemsworth is the rebellious huntsman. Charlize Theron and Emily Blunt are the evil Queen sisters.
I think about my daughter, and I'd love her to see a film like this where women are empowered and in charge of their own destiny.
The film is a prequel to the Snow White story. It arrives in theaters later this month.
And James Franco digs into a dark and troubled childhood in the Adderall Diaries. Franco stars as a writer examining his violent relationship with his father. Each man sees himself as the victim.
It's only when you have a counter perspective that, you know, you start to see, oh, maybe this is the hero and this is the villain, or vice versa.
Ed Harris plays Franco's father. That's your eye on entertainment. Suzanne Marquez, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Hey, and we hope you'll keep it here on Mid-Morning. You can take a trip to space and see the art in the making.
A preview of a fun event coming up at the Living Arts and Science Center next on WKYT. And tonight's Mega Millions jackpot is $72 million.
And Wednesday night's Powerball jackpot is $184 million. Hey, it's good to have you along on Mid-Morning on WKYT, and you can experience art in the making, even explore the galaxy in the planetarium. The Living Arts and Science Center is holding its annual Heartful of Fun.
To learn more about it, we're joined by Emmy Hartley, Heartful of Fun event chair, along with Maggie Mick, a board member at the Living Arts and Science Center. Thank you all very much for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
Appreciate it. Long-running event in the community, but you have really stepped it up for Heartful of Fun, haven't you? Tell us about it.
Yeah, well, this is our 26th year hosting the event, and this year is the first year that we're actually going to host it at our new renovated and expanded downtown campus. So we've just finished a $5.3 million capital campaign that doubled our footprint in downtown and created things like the planetarium and the Glow Gallery. And so we look forward to hosting everybody downtown this year instead of out at the Horse Park where we've done it the past few years.
What a great way to show off the new facilities. That's great. And you have different things. There's a golden raffle ticket this year. What's that about?
Yes, well, if you're not able to make it to the event itself, you can purchase a golden raffle ticket for $100, and we're only selling 100, so get them while they're available. And for that, you can win one of our great live auction items, one of which we've brought with us today.
This is amazing. Tell us about this.
Yes, this is really exciting. It's a bourbon barrel guitar from Mike Mankel from the Bourbon Barrel Guitar Company. This guitar is actually from a Jack Daniels barrel. So
I mean, the whole guitar is made from a bourbon barrel.
It's all from reclaimed bourbon barrels. So this will be one of our 7 live auction items that we'll have at the event.
What a collector's item.
Yes.
That's really great.
Yeah,
and you
absolutely.
Have a cat picture?
Yes, and we also will have art for that will be available. This is by Lennon Mahalski, who is a longtime artist with the center. So we'll have several different pieces of art, and then we'll also, of course, have silent auction items as well.
Yeah, tell us how that the night will go if guests show up.
Absolutely. It's from 7 to 11 at the center. We'll have valet parking available. There'll also be street parking. It'll have catered food by Dupree Catering, an open bar, which is always fun, and then music, artful experiences, shows going on at the planetarium, which is Lexington's only planetarium. So we're really excited.
And if people are not familiar already with the Living Arts and Science Center, it's a wonderful facility.
Yes, well, we've been in existence for over 40 years, and you had mentioned that your husband was one of our past board presidents.
Way back.
So we've been around, and we service over 36 counties in Kentucky, but really we go out, but people come in. And our new downtown facility welcomes folks that are toddlers through retirement, and we provide experiences and educational arts and science experiences.
Well, if you want to go, it's $100 a ticket, keeping in mind that most of that will go to support the wonderful programs at the Living Arts and Sciences Center. Heartful of Fun coming up Saturday, April 23rd, 7 to 11 at the location this year at your venue. It sounds great. Thanks for coming.
Good luck. I know it'll be a lot of fun.
Thanks.
Thank you. Well, keep it right here this mid-morning.
In just a moment, we'll check in with the Mr. Food Test Kitchen and see what you can whip up here as we head toward the middle of the week. Coming up in just a little bit, it's WKYT News at noon.
The latest on the budget talks in Frankfort, where lawmakers are facing a constitutionally mandated Friday deadline.
It's then or never, and also we'll go back to Moorhead to talk with business owners impacted by a large overnight fire, and why police in Lancaster are asking parents to talk with their kids about stranger danger.
News, weather, and sports ahead at noon on WKYT. Well, today is National Grilled Cheese Sandwich Day. Love it. But you don't have to settle for just an ordinary sandwich.
Yeah, today in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, it is barbecue pulled pork grilled cheese.
You know, it's not like we need an excuse to make a grilled cheese sandwich. But just in case you feel like you do, no problem, because today is National Grilled Cheese Day. It's not exactly the type of holiday you plan a vacation around or you take off from work for. But it is a day that I think is worth celebrating. So here's how we're going to do it. We start by laying out 4 slices of sourdough or a hearty white bread and topping each with a slice of sharp cheddar cheese. On top of that, we pile on some barbecue pork. And the weeknight easy way to do that is to pick up a container of pre-cooked pulled barbecue pork from the refrigerated section of your market. Now, over that, we spoon on some coleslaw and more cheese, which will make this extra ooey gooey. Now we put on another slice of bread and butter each side before placing them on a griddle. Once both sides are toasted and the cheese begins to melt, it's time to call the troops to the table. With its melty cheese, the tanginess of the barbecue pork, and the buttery toasted bread, this is not your everyday grilled cheese. So in honor of this special day, why not go online and get the recipe for our barbecue pulled pork grilled cheese? So come dinner time, you'll be ready with a 5-ingredient meal that's always welcome. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a messy in a good way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Yes, grilled cheese.
Yeah. That looked
great.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, throw a little meat on it. We'll be good to go. Yeah. All right, here's what we're looking at the rest of the day. 56 degrees, a lot of sunshine. Tomorrow, we have a frosty start, but let me tell you this. This is the last frost chance that I see in the forecast. Therefore, at least the next 7, maybe even 14 days, the next week or two, because there's just not a cold shot of air anytime soon. So frosty start tomorrow morning, green thumb alert, bring your plants back inside, and then you can put them back out and forget about them for the next, like I said, week or two. It's possible. Big shot of warm air sticks around for a while.
I like what we're hearing from you today.
Spring arrives again.
Yeah, again.
Okay. Hey, thank you so much for joining us for WKYT Mid-Morning. Hope you're back here for all the latest at noon.
The Bold and the Beautiful is next here on CBS, and we certainly hope to see you right back here at noon. Have a great day.